All right, let's go ahead and start the same template, ACAD DWT. So today's main thing is creating layers. So from now on, every single homework should have multiple layers. Um, we'll have one layer for the main design, another layer for measurements, and another layer for what's it called? Cross sections or certain lines, depending what you want to do. So give you a moment to open your stuff up. All right. Okay, so alrighty. All right, you guys ready? Make sure you're able to find the layer property icon here. There's more than one way to call it up, but you can always just click right here. As you can see in this drop-down box, we have only one layer, the main layer, called 0. So click here to open this box. If I can move it, I guess not. Once you do that, you can create new layers by hitting this icon here. So I'm going to call this my, let's see here, think of a good name. We'll call it the main cross section. Oops. Then we'll have another one for measurements. Okay. Let's see if we need a third one or not. I think that's cool for now, just to get the idea. What I want you to do though is to customize these layers. So let's customize the main layer first. The main cross section, I mean. We're going to use, let's see here. Oops. So click the color. For a main cross section, I'm going to use like a dark red here. Okay. So I've changed that. For measurements, I like using like a lime green, something bright. If you want to use your own colors, that's fine, but it's just for an example. Later, we'll talk about making templates so you can have layers set up for you right at the beginning. Okay, so make sure this is red and green or two different colors. So now for the main cross section, if you click the line type, so I want to make sure there are different types of lines. That way it's clear, a little bit, it stands out a little more. So for the main cross section, I want you to choose hidden line. So right now there's no lines. We're gonna go load them. So click load and look for hidden line. Here's the one. So then I'm gonna select it and hit OK. So now it's changed to hidden. So the main one is continuous line, which is the ones we've been working with. Hidden is kind of like a weird dash line. Now for the measurement, load another type. For this guy, see the book wants us to use, let's see here. Where is it? Actually, they leave it as continuous, so we'll use a different one. But before we close this box, let's go ahead and add center line for a different layer. Hit OK. So I'm not going to do anything and leave it as continuous. So I'm going to add one more layer just for fun, just so we can practice this. Just regular cross section. So this guy will be blue. And this one I will use the center line. So I have 4 total layers, including the original. Okay, and the light bulb means you can toggle it off and on so you don't see it. Lock means you can't edit it unless you want to. You have to unlock it, which is pretty cool. Like if you want to if you're switching layers really quickly and you're afraid to mess something up in a different layer, then you can make sure everything's locked except the one you want to work in. Especially if you make, like, let's say you have one part that you're building, a mechanical part, and you have one perspective on one layer, different perspective in another layer. So if you go that route, you don't want to mess it up, you know. But anyway, at that point, if you once you have these 4 layers, just go ahead and close it. If you guys have any questions on how to change the line types, how to change the colors, and what the light bulbs and locks do. All right. Okay, and so right now I'm gonna go ahead and lock everything. See how my layers are right here. And I'm gonna leave the main one, the main layer open. Okay. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and draw just a basic rectangle so we can play with the layers. Choose rectangle, and this command requires. Well, you can make it different ways. You can do by width or by. Well, actually, you can do width, or you can type in the points. The first upper left corner point, and then the lower corner point. So I'm going to use the points instead of width. So I want you to type in #3, 2. And then for the next corner point, type in 9, 8. Let's see here. You know what? Let's do that again. I'll go ahead and use dimension after all, just for more practice. So I'm picking rectangle. Alrighty. All right. Let's see if width works. I'm going to do 6. And I'm going to choose 3, 2 is my point. Oh, crap. No, this is not what I want. Biscuits. One moment. There should be a command for dimension. Let me type in the first point, 3, 2. There's dimension. 6 by 6. Yeah, okay. All right, so that's where it is. Let me undo all this because I messed it all up. All right, so we were cool at this point before I got out of hand by myself. All right, rectangle. Don't mess with the width because that's talking about 3D type stuff, which we're not there yet. No, I can't turn it off. I need to change the width back to standard. Nope. I think it might have been 0. There we go. Jeebus. Delete all this. Okay. So don't mess with the width unless you want the inner thickness to have, unless you want the rectangle to have like a thickness around the border. I thought it was dimension. That's why I messed that up. Let's go ahead and turn on our snap so we can kind of grip a little bit better. So I'm going to choose, it doesn't really matter where, but I've been choosing 3-2 just because it's the book used, but so here is my rectangle. Going to use 6 by 6. There we go. To see how it's kind of toggling on that 3-2 point. There we go. So you have a perfect square of 6 by 6 starting at 3-2, which would be down here. Okay. You guys cool with that so far? Forgive me if I confused you earlier. Oops. Okay. All right. So this is all done in the 0 layer, right? So let's go ahead and switch, just for fun, to the main cross section. So I'm going to make a, let's see here, got my hidden line. So I have my center. Got my center here. Here's my, oops, I did not unlock it. There you go. Alrighty, I'm gonna lock this and lock the main one. Just to test it out. So I currently am in layer 0. Stupid thing keeps getting in my way. This is locked. Alright, I shouldn't be able to mess with this. Let's see if it lets me. Yeah, it won't let me erase, as you can see. So layer is locked and protected. Alright, now I'm gonna lock the main one. Cancel whatever that was. Let's do the measurements. So go switch to measurements and unlock. So I'm going to measure my box that I just made. So click dimensions. So once you click the dimension thing, click a corner and go all the way down and measure that side. And since it's a 6 by 6 box, it should give me a dimension of 6. Now, how many decimal points depends on the precision, which I showed you last time. Although there is a separate menu for measurements, for customizing the measurements, but we'll talk about more later. So we'll measure the top side. Now you don't have to extend it all the way out. It's whatever. It's what you prefer, you know. Like this might be too much. So you could try to move it back. Okay. Alrighty, now let's try put a circle in the center. So I'm just click the center with a radius of, let's say, 2.5 looks cool, I guess. Oops, I'm in the wrong layer though. Cancel that. Lock this. This is only for measurements. Unlock the original and go back to 0 layer. So now here we will do our circle. But notice how if you don't want to look at all this nonsense, you can turn it off with a light bulb. So I don't want to see those layers. I only want to see what I'm working with. So click the circle, right at the center, radius 2 point, or diameter. No, sorry, it's radius 2.5. Okay. And now let's do main cross section. I'm going to turn off this guy. Oops, I kind of need to see that. All right, so I'm going to the main cross section. And I'm going to annotate and see if my center mark works. So I'm going to do a center line here for this circle. All right, so now I have a main center mark on my circle. Back to home. Now I'm going to turn that off. And unlock the original. Okay. You guys see how the layers work? Does that make sense? Are there any questions about this so far? Okay. Well, let's mess with the fillet function. It can be a little finicky because sometimes, I forget to, like, what is the order? Do I click first or I press enter first? Whatever. But click the fillet or call the function and then click the object you want to fillet or fillet or fillet, however you want to say it. I don't care. Just click here. Then click radius. I'm going to specify a radius of 1.5. See, now it's going to fillet the corner here. See that? Now, so I don't have to keep doing that nonsense over and over again. Well, let's do one more time for the practice first, actually. So fillet, select the object, choose how much I'm going to fillet by choosing a radius of 1.5, and then click that other side here to connect it to. Press spacebar, and you can redo that without having to do all that nonsense. There we go. Now everything has been fillet or filleted or whatever by a 1.5 radius. Although it looks like I messed up my measurements. It's kind of funny. Although usually we do measurements towards the end, not after we've modified the diagram. But you can do measurements for a circle. See, if I click the circle, it's telling me radius of 5. I'm sorry, that's a symbol for diameter. Sorry, see that line, circle with a line through it? That means diameter. Because we chose a radius of 2.5, so we can click the circle. You can grab a handle on it and then kind of just move it and say, yeah, there's my radius or my diameter. Or if you prefer, dang it, let's undo that. Well, no, I think I'd have to modify the settings. But anyway. Okay. Guys have any questions about the fillet command or creating layers?